Today I'm going to try to draw this absolutely epic stone church in Valladolid, Spain, and if you're wondering how I'm going to make this drawing look anything like the reference, your guess is as good as mine. The perspective here is a lot more complicated than I was ready for, and I guess I knew that going in, because look at it, but why do this at all if I'm not going to challenge myself? Right? Right. So primarily, I approach this with the understanding that the higher it goes, the more of its underside I'll be able to see. I know that. So any ledges or overhanging areas would mean that I need to draw them from this on-the-ground perspective more and more the higher I looked up. I also need to keep in mind that the higher up it goes, as I mentioned in the previous video, the narrower it looks. And that is the crux of the issue for today. I have a reasonable understanding of some of these simpler angles and, how perspective pulls them downward, but I don't have a clue as to how I'm supposed to imply this narrowing effect properly. So I winged it, as I love to do. I noticed in my phone while I was filming the reference video, which feels a bit like cheating, but whatever, I'll take any help I can get, that the central pillar narrows evenly since it's in the center. And the rest of the church similarly narrows, like in that same direction toward the center, toward my vertical eye line. The problem that I was having, which truth be told I'm still having, is understanding at exactly what angle these lines are moving. I have no idea where they would, ostensibly converge in the sky. And that makes things pretty difficult, as you can see. So yeah, winging it seems to be the way, and it shows. Also, I just now realized as I was talking that I might have just solved maybe how to deal with this kind of perspective when I said the word converge. Holy cow. So maybe where, for instance, the pillar on the left and that right side, not the pillar, but the right side of the church, ultimately converge, like I said, somewhere way up in the sky. Just like the left or the right side is like an extra point to add to the perspective guide. I've been over the other 2 points plenty of times in previous videos, but to recap, they are at my eye line and off to the left and right sides really far away, and lines converge over there. But maybe this extra one counts as the third point, meaning 3-point perspective. Hold on a sec. Okay, yep, I just checked, and that's exactly what's happening. Wow, that's amazing. I love figuring stuff out, especially in real time. Too bad I didn't know this at the time. Cool. Now I guess I understand it. So the next time I need to employ it, maybe I'll have a shot and won't need to resort to as much winging it. So basically, to recap, if I understand correctly, if I want to draw this whole thing in correct perspective, I'd have a point way off to the left and another one way off to the right. Like I said, that's 2-point perspective, both at my eye line, and then another one way up high, way further than the top of my paper. And all I would need to do, I guess, is align all the lines correctly, and I'd be left with this illusion that happens when something extends high above me. If so, that's so awesome. I can barely believe it. I'm definitely going to take some time to practice this. Amazing. Okay, real quick to super recap. The right side of one pillar and the left side of that pillar are the lines that would converge to that point. So in this central pillar, you can see that the bottom is wider than the top. And at a certain point, there's going to be a vanishing point where from our perspective, those lines converge. They don't look like parallel lines. They're so high up in the sky that they look like one point. I think I got it. I think that's correct. Anyway, even though that little epiphany didn't occur to me at the time, I still made an effort to achieve this dramatic narrowing effect And I did so incorrectly in a lot of ways, I realize now, but not so dramatically wrong that it's lost entirely, like the illusion is gone. I think my problem was making it a lot more dramatic than it actually is, leading to this central pillar looking less straight and blocky and more pointed. Like that point where those lines converge is a lot lower, which is clearly not. Whatever. I'll give myself some leeway with this one. I think most of my struggles here are based on the fact that I'm rarely sat at the very bottom of a very tall structure like this, drawing its entirety. Usually, if something's really big, I'll either point the camera up, like the previous drawing, so that I don't have to contend with all the drama, or the big tall thing is, quite a ways off in the distance, which pretty much removes that narrowing illusion. But because this is quite tall and right across the street from me, and I'm including all of it, I get this crazy warping effect. So yeah, not really something I'm used to in a number of ways, but genuinely so excited that by trying something unknown and difficult, I learned something new and significant, which feels really good. Somewhere around now, a woman with her little white dog came to see what I was doing and proceeded to have a long conversation with my wife and I. Clearly, I wasn't totally invested in either the drawing or the conversation, but as she was speaking Spanish, a much larger chunk of my brain was occupied with her over the drawing, and I think you might be able to tell. There's a point where I kind of move all over the paper, looking for simple things, to touch up or add to. I start squiggling in the little potted trees at the bottom, something I hadn't planned to do, and accomplish entirely on autopilot, which feels good, I guess. And because of this, and because my wife was no longer watching my phone, we both completely lost track of time. So I just kept trudging along, not ever realizing that I should have probably stopped 5, 10, 15 minutes earlier. Oh well. For now, we have this. Is it everything I ever hoped it would be? No, obviously. Is it acceptable given my ignorance? I think so. Thanks to the perspective confusion, there was a point where I got totally lost, and you can really see that on the left side. Also, anything inside, namely the ceiling, is better left ignored. I didn't know how to make it. It's the worst part of the drawing. Shield your eyes. So what do you think? Are you as excited as I am about the whole perspective breakthrough? I'm sure you're not. I appreciate you for taking the time to watch this one, and I'll see you soon. Thanks.